Hello, welcome to my channel and thanks for tuning into this video. Today I wanted to do a Sephora sale recommendations video. So the Sephora VIB Rouge sale is coming up very soon. I think I'm going to be posting this on Thursday. So if you're a Rouge member, it will be starting tomorrow on Friday. And this is, I think, just in Canada and the US. So hopefully this will be helpful for you if you're trying to decide what you might want to pick up during this sale. I'm going to start with my skincare recommendations. So first up, I have the SK-II Essence. This is something I've talked about before on my channel, and I just wanted to throw it in here because I know that I'm going to be picking up a new bottle. As you can see, I'm almost out. And I bought this one in the fall VIB sale, so it seems like this size can kind of last me from sale to sale. So I'm going to be grabbing another one of these during the sale. Another thing that I think I picked up during the last sale was this Kiehl's Milk Peel Toner. And this is a product that I really love. I use it in the mornings and I use it right after I do my SK-II. And I just put it on a little cotton pad and wipe that all over my face. And it gives a really nice gentle exfoliation and adds a little bit of moisture at the same time because it has that milky texture to it. And it also gives a little bit of a glow. So I really like that, and I think I'll be grabbing another one of these. Next product I wanted to recommend is the Bobbi Brown Vitamin Enriched Face Base. I've talked about this before on my channel too. This is another thing that I use every day. Whether I'm wearing makeup or not, I use this. So it's just a really great sort of primer moisturizer combo. And it does a little bit of blurring, I find. It really gives some nice hydration. It smells great, and it just makes the skin look really nice and smooth and ready for the day ahead. Those are my sort of morning skincare recommendations. I use each of those in the morning. I use the SK-II in the evening as well. And then a couple other things I really like in the evening. The La Mer Concentrate. This is very pricey, and so if you can get it during the sale, that's a great thing. This I really love for when I have any sort of irritation on my skin. I've talked about this on my channel before too, and it's just sort of one of those miracle products where if you have redness, irritation, any kind of like itching or burning sensations on your skin, if you put this on, it soothes it almost immediately. It makes it feel a lot better. And then if you put it on at night, when you wake up in the morning, any of that visible irritation and so on is usually gone in the morning when I use this at night. So I don't use this every day because I like to just sort of reserve it for when I really need it or just for certain areas of my face. But this is a really great one that I think I'll always want to have in my collection. The next one I wanted to talk about, I've also mentioned this. This is the Tatcha Dewy Skin Cream. So most of these things I've mentioned in my winter skincare favorites video. This has just been great. I've been using this all winter and I'm continuing to use it now that it's spring, and I'm not finding it too heavy or anything on my skin. It's just a really nice moisturizer. It feels great on the skin. It feels like it's really hydrating, and I wake up in the morning and my skin is still nice and moisturized. So I love that. And then a newer discovery for me, but one that I'm super, super excited about, is the Sunday Riley Luna Night Oil. I have this little sort of deluxe sample size, and I think I have 3 more of these sizes. It's currently, as I'm recording this, it's a reward on Sephora. So every time I order something, I throw in one of these. And this has just really impressed me. I think after the first night I used it, I didn't really notice anything, but then after the second night, I woke up and I looked at my face, and it was just, my skin was so much smoother and my pores were so much smaller, and it was really amazing to see that immediate of a result. And I've continued to use this every night. I put it on top of the moisturizer, so this is like my last step at night. I have tried it underneath the moisturizer as sort of more of a serum, but I didn't find I got as good results when I did it that way. So I like to use this as my last step. 3 or 4 drops covers my whole face. And yeah, I'm just amazed by what a difference this has made in my skin so quickly. The last skincare-ish thing, this is the Laneige Lip Sleeping Mask. This is, I think, my third big tub of this, and it's just a really nice thick lip balm. So the By Terry Balm de Rose is kind of my #1 lip balm, especially at night. I use it as a lip mask. But when I'm not using that, so I'm about to run out of my untinted Balm de Rose, and I'm just gonna wait for a sale before I pick it up again. And so I've been using this in the interim, and this is really good. It feels sort of similar to the Balm de Rose, and that's really nice and thick and feels really nourishing on the lips. This is another one that's just great because it lasts all night. So I put a pretty thick layer of this on my lips at night, and when I wake up, I can still feel a tiny little bit of it on the lips. I like that it keeps my lips hydrated all night. And this one is the Sweet Candy scent, and it smells like fruit roll-ups, if you know what those are, just like fruity candy basically. So that's it for the sort of skincare category. And now moving into makeup. So I kind of tried to pick something, or at least one thing from each makeup category to share here. The foundation I wanted to share is actually a powder foundation. This is the Fenty Beauty Soft Matte Powder Foundation. And I've really loved this both as a foundation all over and as sort of a setting powder slash touch-up powder slash additional coverage powder, kind of that you could place in just particular spots on your face. I love that this shade is so light. This is the lightest shade, 100. And it's so nice to find shades that are light enough. It's really rare to find light enough complexion products to really match my true skin tone. So I love that aspect of it. Looks really natural on the skin. It doesn't feel like anything. It doesn't feel heavy or anything like that. And it just really adds a nice sort of it is a soft matte, sort of a soft matte, slightly luminous matte kind of finish. So it's a really beautiful product, and I would highly recommend that. Even on my fairly dry skin, it's really nice. Moving into concealers, I have two to show you. The first one is this Kosas Revealer Concealer. They brought out new shades recently, so I was really happy about that. This is now the lightest shade, it's 0.5. And it is, again, it's a product that's really nice and light. So I appreciate that aspect of it. I also find that it's not nearly as yellow as the shade 1. I had shade 1 before and it was too deep and way too yellow. This is a really nice shade, and the finish of it is so beautiful. It's sort of a dewy finish, but it gives an amazing amount of coverage for having that kind of a finish. So that's a really beautiful one. I can see myself using this all summer as well. I've been using it all winter too. And then the other one I wanted to show was the Armani Luminous Silk Concealer. Now this is in the shade 2, which was the lightest shade I could find of it, and it is much deeper than the Kosas. I'm going to show you a couple swatches here. But I find that sometimes this kind of a shade, so that's the Armani, this kind of a shade can be a little bit better for covering blemishes on my skin, because sometimes the lighter shade just sort of highlights them rather than covering them quite as much as I want. So that one's the Kosas there, that's the Armani. The Armani also isn't as dewy as the Kosas, so that's good, again, for blemishes. Sometimes you don't want something quite as dewy, but it is luminous in a sense. It's a really nice natural skin-like finish to it. Next up into kind of setting powders and finishing powders, I have two powders here. The first is the Kosas Cloud Set. This is a fantastic powder because it's super lightweight. This is the shade Airy. Super lightweight, and it doesn't look like much on the skin. So it will set down your makeup, but it really doesn't have much of its own kind of finish to it. It's slightly mattifying, but it does still allow dewy products underneath to shine through. So it's a really special product, and I think that's a great one. The other powder that I wanted to share is the Dior Backstage Powder No Powder. This is, again, this is the lightest shade, 0N, and it's a little bit darker than I would like it to be for the lightest shade in the range, but it's fine. And it's kind of nice if I'm using like quite a light colored foundation like the Fenty or the new Fenty Eaze drops, the blurring skin tint. I got the shade 1 in that too, and it's really, really light, which I love, but sometimes it's nice to just add a little bit of color on top of that. So this can work really well on that. I actually have that on today. I have the Fenty Eaze drops in the lightest shade, and then I have this sort of all over the face, not quite on the nose, but under the eyes and around all the rest of the face. And it has a glowy finish, I find. If you look really closely in certain lights, you can see that it has little shimmer particles in it. So it's certainly not mattifying, but if you like to have that sort of security of being able to set your foundation and feeling like things aren't going to move around and are going to last a little bit longer, but you still want that really nice luminous and dewy finish, I think this is a great product for that. Not my favorite on the nose and on the pores right around my nose though. This is also, it's a face and body, so you can even bring it down on your chest and just add a little bit of blurring and luminosity to that area as well, with like the tiniest little bit of coverage. I have it on my chest area today too. Because it's a face and body product, it has quite a lot of product. It has 11 grams in there. Let's move on to blush, I think. And the first blush that I want to talk about is this Natasha Denona Love Cheek Duo. I use the blush a lot more than I've been using the highlighter, but the blush is kind of an everyday staple for me. It's a really nice cream formula. It has a bright, vibrant color, but still looks natural on the skin. I think this would work on a wide range of skin tones as well. And it has great lasting power too. So it lasts pretty much all day for me. I might touch it up sort of, if I've put it on first thing in the morning, I might touch it up sort of midway through the afternoon, but it's not strictly necessary to do that. And I just think it's a really beautiful product. The next blush I wanted to mention is another Dior Backstage product, the Rosy Glow blush. And this is in the shade 004 Coral. That's what it looks like, and this is the blush that I have on today. It's just a beautiful peachy color, but it has a little bit of pink in there, as I think you can probably see, like it's on the pinker side of peach as opposed to the more orange side of peach. And it's just a stunning color. It's really vibrant and beautiful and buildable and has a really nice natural finish to it. The next blush I wanted to mention is from Westman Atelier. Westman Atelier is still not available at Sephora Canada yet, unfortunately, but it is now at Sephora US. So if you're in the US, I would recommend this blush. This one is the Baby Cheeks blush in the shade Doudou. I also have Chouchette, which is really beautiful, but this one I prefer a little bit, just a little bit more vibrant and really gives a lot of life to your face very quickly. So that's beautiful. Again, it lasts really well throughout the day and has a beautiful natural finish. And then I'm gonna move on to highlight now because I have another Westman Atelier product, and this is the Lit Up Highlight Stick in Nectar. This is a highlighter, a cream highlighter that does have a little bit of a tint to it, as you can see, but it ends up looking pretty much clear on the face. So it's almost like a skin toned highlighter. It's going to take on your skin tone because it's so sheer and has skin-like undertones to it. This is probably my favorite Westman Atelier product, and I love it because it's like glass skin in a tube. It gives you that beautiful glass skin effect on your cheeks, and it lasts all day. So I don't have any other products that are quite as effective at the glass skin look and as long lasting as this one, and it's really easy to use too. So that's my #1 Westman Atelier recommendation. The one other highlighter I wanted to mention is the MAC Extradimension Skin Finish in Double Gleam. This is really great for fair skin, and this is kind of my go-to powder highlighter because I just know that it's going to be a good tone for me. It's never going to look too dark or give any sort of a weird cast, and it has just a beautiful smooth finish, and it's really shiny, but it's not overly metallic or anything. It looks somehow natural on the skin while still being a really bright highlighter. So this has been around for years and years, but I only just picked it up this year, And I think that if you're looking for a go-to highlighter and you have skin that's a similar tone to mine, you would really love this Double Gleam highlighter. Moving into bronzers, I have the Tower 28 Bronzino. This one's in the shade West Coast. Looks like that. I used this so much last summer. I expect I'll be using it this summer as well. It just has a really beautiful, if you like a glowy bronzer, this is awesome. And this color is all right for me. It's a little bit deeper than I would like. It's a slightly orangey, but I still really love it. But they've just come out with 3 new shades of this bronzer, and one of them is lighter than this. I think it's called Sun Coast. I just ordered it yesterday. Tower 28 products tend to sell out really quickly when they first come out, so I didn't want to wait for the sale to get the new shade of this, so I ordered that yesterday. Should be coming soon. But whichever one of these works, you think would work for your skin tone, and if you like a glowy skin and a glowy bronzer, I think you would love this. It's really easy to apply and it just looks so beautiful, and it's just perfect for summertime. The other bronzer I wanted to mention is also a glowy bronzer. This is the Kosas bronzer, and this is in the shade Light, which is the lightest one. It's called Soft Bronze. And it's just, again, it's a beautiful glowy bronzer. It's a really nice light tone, and I find that it looks really natural on the skin. I have it on today, and it's just a really great bronzer. Now moving into the eyes, I have a few eye palettes I wanted to talk about. The first one is this Rowan palette. I would recommend any of their little palettes. This is the 75 degrees one, so this is their warm palette. These are just really special shadows. If you like cream shadows and you like shiny, shimmery shadows, I think you'd love these palettes. They do crease a little bit on the eye, like if you're not putting any powder shadow on top of them. Sometimes what I like to do is use these in conjunction with some powder shadow, so that kind of sets them down. But if you use them on their own, they do crease a little bit, but that's just part of the whole look with these. They're really beautiful, super shiny, and I think really great for summer too. Really easy to just throw on with your fingers. And then also for the eyes, I just wanted to mention Natasha Denona. Pretty much any of the Natasha Denona palettes I could recommend. The only ones that I wouldn't recommend are the Tropic, just because I've never used that, but I've heard some mixed reviews on the quality of those shadows. And I would not recommend the Safari palette if that's still available, because again, that's a little bit inconsistent with the quality. The version that I have is not a consistent quality across all the shadows, so I wouldn't necessarily recommend that. But my top 2 recommendations right now would be the Glam palette. This one here, can't go wrong with this. It's a beautiful neutral palette. Every single shadow is excellent quality. You can do your whole eye look with it. Even like liner, you've got a great liner shade there. You can do any kind of neutral look you want with this palette, and it's gonna end up beautiful. The other one I wanted to recommend was the Sunrise palette. This is another one of the midi size, which I think is the best size of her palettes, because most people aren't gonna go through one of her larger palettes, and especially one that's colorful like this. I think it's really great to have in the midi size. I've had this for a couple of years, and I have always been really, really impressed with the quality of this palette. Every single one of these shades is beautiful. They all work beautifully together. You can get an incredible kind of sunset or sunrise eye look with this, but you also have these sort of more subdued, neutral-ish shades here that you can get a really beautiful, softer look with as well. So this is just a stunning palette, and I think great for spring and summer coming up too. And I'm actually planning to get the bronze palette in this sale. I don't have that one yet. Looking forward to testing that one out too. Last, for the eyes, I just wanted to mention a mascara. This is the Gucci mascara. This is my current favorite mascara. I just really love the way it looks, and I think there are a lot of good drugstore mascaras out there, so it's not really strictly necessary to get one like this, but I think if you're looking for luxury mascara. This one is really, really great, and the packaging is beautiful. It's nice and heavy, and it works really, really well. So Gucci mascara. Last but not least, I just want to touch on lips. First up, I want to talk about lip pencils, and I would recommend the Makeup Forever Artist Color Pencils. I have a lot of shades of these and I love all of them. This one here is Endless Cacao. This is a Katie Jane Hughes favorite, and this is really great for kind of neutralizing a lip color a little bit, but also adding a really nice sort of shadow and contour on the lip line. So I actually have that on today with a much brighter lipstick, and it just sort of helped to tone it down just a little bit, but allowed me to still keep the vibrancy of that bright color. Probably my favorite shade of this is Wherever Walnut. It's kind of a peachy nude with a little bit of browniness in it, and I really love that shade of the pencil. The last product I'm going to talk about is the Fenty Cream Lip Glosses. This one here is in the shade Fruit Snacks. This isn't one that I wear as often as a couple of the others. The one I wear probably the most is the Fenty Glow. It's just a nice nude shade. These just feel really nice on the lips, really nourishing. I like them much more than the original Fenty glosses with the shimmer and stuff in them, and they add a nice amount of pigment as well as feeling nourishing. They just feel kind of like a nice balm on your lips, but have a good tint to them as well. So that's it for this video. Those were my recommendations for the upcoming Sephora sale. If you have any comments or questions, I'd love to see those below. If you'd like to see more from me and you haven't subscribed to my channel yet, I would really love for you to do so. Thank you so much for watching. Take care, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.